Okay, so this is week 1, Tuesday, quarter 3 for math 7. Okay, so it says draw the next two figures, just like this is 50th figure. So remember before n was going to be the number of figures, right? And T of n is going to be the total number of tiles or squares, correct? And then remember, you always had like a equation where it was like T of n. So depending on the number of figures, right? Or the tile, or yeah, the number of figures, it was mx plus b, right? Okay. And remember what m is a slope, right? To find the slope, which is m, you need to have 2 points, right? Which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And the 2 points that you get are in the form of a coordinate, right? This one is x, this one's y. X is going to be the figure, y is going to be the number of tiles, right? If you have 2 different points, like this right here, you have to label it so that the first one is x1, y1, second one is x2, y2, and you plug it into this equation. Does that make sense? All right, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so which one do you want to use? This is number 1, 2, or 3. Okay, so you want to do the first one. So for the first one, this is figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, right? What are the number of total tiles here? 3. Next one. 5. No, count. That's not 5. Okay. What's the next one? 15. I don't think there's 15 there. Try again. How are you not even counting correctly? Let's make sure we count correctly, please. You don't have to count where I am. Just count where you are. You know this right here is 3 times 4, right? What's that plus 3 more? Okay. All right. So then we have 2 points. 1, that's figure 1, and 3, correct? Remember, 1 is the number of figures, right? 3 is the total tiles, correct? Second figure is 8. Third figure is 15, correct? Now, looking at this, how are you? I mean, 1 to 2 is plus 1. 2 to 3 is plus 1, right? There's no changes there. But how are you going from 3 to 8? And 8 to 15, what are you adding? And then 8 to 5 is not 5. Or 8 to 15 is not 5. How do you get from 8 to 15? I'm thinking, just thinking, that if it becomes a 4, if I go to the next one, do you think it's 5, 7, maybe 9, right? Then this will be what? Try again. 24, correct? I'm thinking that might be it, right? But I'm not 100% sure. Do you understand? Okay, so we know these are inconsistent y values, right? It's not like yesterday where it was like plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, right? So we can't just use a slope formula for this because it's not going to be accurate, right? So what you're going to do is we can always try to use a chat function to kind of like find the pattern. I have a feeling it's going to be about multiplication and subtraction, but we shall see what it is. So we're going to come over here. And we're going to say, what is the equation for the set of data? And what's the data again? It was 1 comma what? Okay. And then what's the next one? 2 comma. Okay. And the next one is 3 comma 20. 15? Was it 24? No, it was. That was 3:15. So let's see what it gives us. Okay, so you see the equations right here. This obviously is not a nice equation. It has a square in it, right? Okay, remember how we kind of predicted the next one, like 4? We said was 4 comma what? And was it 24 here when you drew it? Was it 24 tiles? Because like if it's gonna be 4, then look over here, Grayson. Do you see how it's 4 squared? 4 times 4 is gonna be 16, right? 16 times 2 is 32, yes. Right? Yeah. 32 minus. Do you see how it's 3 times 4, which is 12, right? Plus 6. So I actually got 26. So let's try this again. So 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. Minus 3 times 4 is 12, correct? Plus 6 is. This equation gives it as a 26. So I'm thinking this is incorrect. So let's try again. And it's 4 comma 24, correct? So let's try this. Okay, and let's try another one. 4 comma 24. So let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so this actually will be the equation right here. This will be the equation. Let's make sure it works, okay? So once again, so if x is 4, right? So 4 times 4, or 4 times 4 is 16, correct? Times 2 is 32. 3 times 4 is 12, correct? Oops. 2 minus 12 plus 6. But see, that doesn't work. That doesn't give you, am I crazy? Like 4 squared is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. 32 minus 12 is 32 minus 12 is 20. 20 plus 6 is not 26. That doesn't work, does it? Does that work? Do you see that? That's okay. It doesn't matter. So that's okay. So the next one is 4 comma 24, right? So this one's 1, 3, 2, 8, 3, 15, 4, 24. And let's guess the next one. So it's going to be 5. And then what are you going to add here? No, 5, 7, 9. What's the next number? Aren't these all 11. Odd numbers, right? Yeah, plus 11. So what is it going to be? 35. So 5 comma 35, correct? Now, once we have this, we're going to plot it, right? So grab some color pencils. This right here is at 0, 0, correct? So this is how we do this. You know that this part right here is the x value, right? Everything on this line right here is the y value, right? Do you see how your biggest number for the y value is 35? If it's gonna be 35, you can't just go 1, 2, 3, 4, because you don't have enough space, right? So should we go by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10s? Or should we go by 3, 5, 10, 15, 20? I mean 5, 10, 15, 20s. Would you like? Or you want to do 3, 6? Okay, so let's go for 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and just keep going, right? 7, 30, 3. I'm gonna stop right there. We don't need to go any further than that. And then the numbers on the bottom right here, you can just go by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, yeah, since you have a lot more spaces here, we can just stick it by 2. Look over here. Look over here. Because we have more space, right? So that could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the reason I did that is just so we have a little bit more of space, okay, to see other data. Just based on what you see here, do you feel like is this going to be a linear or is it a quadratic? A linear means your line just goes like this. A quadratic means it goes like this. Linear is what we did yesterday. Yesterday was when it's plus 1, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, correct? It's probably going to be quadratic. So let's take a look over here, okay? So let's plot it. Now 1, here's 1, 3. That's your first one. Put 1, comma 3, right? Next one's 2, 8. 3, 15. 4, 24. 5, 35. Do you see how like right now you can't really see it that well? Yeah. But like if we just decide to go a little bit further, so I want you to extend your table a little bit, okay? And let's go ahead and put in a few more numbers. Maybe then we can see the curve because right now it doesn't look like a curve. Do you see what I'm saying? So what happens if I do 6 and 7 and 8? What is your domain or range going to be? What is your total number of tiles? Um, After 11, what are you going to add it by? 46. Oh, no. What are you going to add it by next? And then, okay, so what's your next two numbers? 53. Okay, next one. I think 80, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so then here's 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so then when we get to number 6, I'm just gonna go 48 probably all the way up here. And then 7 is gonna be all the way up here. And 8 is all the way up here. But you could kind of see, like, you see it's going in a curve. Do you see that? Mm. So that is going to be a quadratic, okay? And so on your graph, make sure you put that it's a quadratic function, okay? Because it's not straight, right? Good, good. So when you're doing this, make sure you put into a coordinate, look at the patterns, okay? If it's not going to be linear, it's not going to be 2, 4. It's not going to be 2 plus 2 plus 2, or minus 5, minus 5, minus 5. Okay, that's not going to be linear. If it's going to be adding by different numbers, like odds, evens, etc., it's going to be quadratic, okay? Right, so we're going to have to do this on a separate piece of paper. Grab a separate piece of paper. That's fine. You drew the next two figures, correct? So make sure you label that as A. Okay. So for B, what do you think is going to be? I mean, when you drew figure two, right? How did you expand it out?
I drew figure two, I extended it out by one more up.
Yeah. Yeah. So figure two, you have two more out, right? Sideways, like you can see horizontally, right? Horizontally. And then how did you go up here? Doesn't look like one, it looks like you went up by two, right? So then on the 50th one, describe it. How is it going to look different horizontally? Just describe it. She just says describe, so you don't have the exact number. And how many of those tiles would you have vertically? So just write it down. Does that make sense? Just write it down words. All right? Probably have to extend it by 49, right? And do you see how the rectangle also gets bigger though? Okay. So explain that. Explain horizontally how many more tiles you get, vertically how many tiles you get, and then rectangle, how is that going to change, right? Okay. So then C, write an expression to describe the number of tiles in the in figure. The in figure is just describing the pattern of the number of figures to the number of tiles. What do you think that's going to be? Okay, so the next one. Okay. These are the numbers, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crap. Okay. What was the question asking again?
Write an expression that describes the number of tiles on the nth figure.
Write an expression of tiles to the nth figure. This is your equation, right? Okay. I can put in 7th grade language. Okay, so here we go. So, based on these given points, right? You can create an expression for the number of tiles or blocks. Here's how you think about it. Step one, start with 5 tiles, right? Step two, you add 3 more tiles, so 8, right? Step 3, you add 7, you make 15, right? Yeah. Notice that each time you add more tiles, a number of additional tiles is increased by 4. Because if you go from 3 to 7, right? This pattern suggests a number is going quickly, hinting a quadratic pattern. Okay. So you just say, well, I don't know. You could just take this and summarize it. Like, just say something. Does that make? Is this due tomorrow?
Yes.
D. Okay. Write an equation expression that describes the number of tiles in the figure. Well, that's the one where it's this equation right here. Hold on. this right here. So what thing you could do, you could say T of n is equal to 2n squared minus 3n plus 6. And you could say that n is the number of figure and T of n is the total number tiles. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. And then F is, what, is there another D here?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the other D. You could put D right there. You put D1, D2. Just label D2 over there. D2, just put, look at, refer back to paper. Because I already did the graph, right? Oh, that's stupid. Make a scatter plot representing the table. It's the same freaking thing, really. So here's your E. Your scatter plot is just something like this, right? Here you're gonna put N, which is a number of figures.
What about D2?
D2 is this part right here, right there.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why it's stupid. Number of figures, right? So a number of figures, you just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can just stop to 6. And then you put T of n over here. T of n, which is total tiles, right?
Yeah.
Well, total tiles, this time let's do by 5. So we'll start at 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And then you just put the dots in there. So create that scatter plot. Okay. So just summarize it. Okay.
Okay.
What do you do? Now describe your figure. How you add into the figure. Gonzalez? Oh, no, no. Quentin? Quentin? Quentin?
Yeah,
I need you to make sure you're working on your math. You need to make sure you're also playing your violin, okay?
I'm gonna play my violin, but I'm gonna take the math because I am stuck on the other problem.
Okay, did you try the math? I need you to play your violin right now and then start trying the math afterwards, okay? And then I'll help you afterwards. You wanna say ha? You don't know what you're doing. Why the hell are you saying ha? You're stupid too. You just have two stupid kids. Are you proud of yourself for being dumb? Now describe your pattern. Okay. What's your answer for C and D? Good. What's your sequence? Uh-huh. Everything? And it's constant, right? Okay, so what's the answer after 19? Good, that's much easier, right? What about for D? What's your answer? What's your pattern? Oh, okay. Yep. Okay. Good. And then make sure the sequence is you add the number by itself, right? Just write that down. You need to answer that question. There are two questions here. Explain how you found it in words and then the sequence. You could do that later. Okay, number E. What's your answer? Do you know how to do letter E? What is your answer? Good. So then please explain that. You need to explain it. That's first. And then also the sequence. Okay. All right, let's move on. You do that later on your own. Next question. F.
Um, multiplying by 3,
Okay, explain how you do that.
-2.
Good. Okay, keep on. What's your next answer?
Done. Yeah.
So what I want you to do with these words right here, I want you to put explain and I want you to put sequence, SEQ, and put dots right here. So that way you know you're not going to remember to do it. But do it for every single question. Do you understand? So that way she knows exactly what you're doing. And then semicolon. Do that for every single one of them. Do you understand? What about for G? What's your answer for G? What about for G?
You're always adding up each digit by 2.
Yeah, because this is going to be 2, difference of 2, right? So then the 2 will be add 13, add 15, add 17, right? So let's do that. 9, 8, 8 plus 15, 63, 60 plus 17. Okay, so make sure you do that, the explanation and also the sequence, okay? All right, now let's take a look at the last one, H. How are you getting from 17? No, I think it's just subtraction, isn't it? Okay. All right, you're done with your homework, yes? Yes?
No.
Yeah, you're done. Yeah, just take it upstairs. You can finish it yourself. I need to help Quentin because